"This old guy is so slow," muttered the young customer, looking at the 65-year-old employee organizing store shelves. His friend joined in. "Probably never finished school, couldn't find any other job." The man said nothing, just kept working. What they didn't know was that those hands had saved lives behind enemy lines for 30 years. Welcome to Echo Stories. Before we begin this powerful story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from. And if you believe stories like this need to be heard, hit that subscribe button to support our channel. It was a hot July morning in Phoenix, Arizona. Wal-Mart Supercenter had opened its doors at 6 a.m., and the first customers were wheeling their shopping carts inside. In aisle 3, the home goods section, 65-year-old Robert Miller worked quietly. Robert arrived at work every morning at 5:30 a.m. His blue Wal-Mart uniform bore a name tag, Robert, happy to help. His gray hair was neatly trimmed, his face clean-shaven. He had never been late, never called in sick, never complained. For 8 years, he had worked the same aisle, organizing the same shelves. Customers barely noticed him. He was there, doing his job, bothering no one. Sometimes they'd ask, "Excuse me, where can I find?" And he'd politely give directions. His voice was low, his manner humble. He seemed like a typical retiree working for extra income. This morning, like every other, he was opening boxes and placing products on shelves. The way he moved was noteworthy. Every motion calculated, every step economical. No wasted movement, no unnecessary noise. But nobody noticed these details. At 9:30 a.m., the store was getting busy. 2 young men in their 20s, dressed casually with baseball caps, entered aisle 3. They had come to buy a television, carrying a large box. Tyler and Josh, both local college students, were shopping for a TV for their weekend parties. Tyler was tired from carrying the box and seemed a bit irritated. "This old guy is so slow," Tyler muttered, looking at Robert. "It takes him an hour just to stock those boxes." Josh joined in. "Probably never finished school, couldn't find any other job. Look how slowly he moves." Robert heard them but showed no reaction. He just kept working. He was arranging products in alphabetical order, a habit, a remnant of military discipline. But the young men couldn't know that. "Hey, old man," Tyler called out. "What cables do we need for these TVs?" Robert turned, speaking calmly. "What kind of TV are you setting up, sir?" "Just a regular TV for our dorm, nothing fancy." Robert approached slowly and looked at the TV box. "You'll need an HDMI cable and probably a surge protector. Aisle 7, electronics section." "Thanks, Grandpa," Josh said mockingly. Robert just nodded and continued working. During lunch hours, the store became even more crowded. Robert took his break, sitting alone in the employee break room. He was drinking coffee from his thermos. Other employees were there too, but he usually sat by himself. "That Robert guy is so quiet," said Maria, a young cashier. "He's been here 8 years, never talks about his past." "Probably nothing interesting to talk about," another employee replied. "Some people just work, you know." Robert finished his coffee and got up 5 minutes before his break ended. He always returned early. Discipline was a habit from years of training. When he returned to the aisle, Tyler and Josh were still there. This time their friends had joined them. 4 young men were talking loudly, making fun of store employees. "Look at this guy," said one of the newcomers, pointing at Robert. "Bet he's been doing this his whole life." "Yeah, some people never amount to anything," Tyler agreed. Robert said nothing again, but this time, as he passed by them, Tyler deliberately blocked his path. "Excuse me, old man. Do you speak English? I asked you a question earlier." "I helped you earlier, sir," Robert replied calmly. "Barely. You were so slow I thought you forgot how to talk." The other young men laughed. Robert looked at them, fatigue in his calm gaze. But there was no anger, just something familiar. The composure of someone who had faced such situations before. Just then, store announcements began. "Attention Wal-Mart shoppers. We have special guests in our store today. Members of the 75th Ranger Regiment are visiting our Phoenix location as part of their community outreach program. Please join us in thanking our servicemen." Tyler and his friends didn't understand the significance, But Robert's posture changed. His shoulders straightened slightly. That name, 75th Ranger Regiment, meant a lot to him. 5 minutes later, camouflage uniforms appeared from the store's main entrance. 3 soldiers walked in with measured steps. The store manager greeted them. The soldiers began touring the store, talking with employees and taking photos. Tyler and his friends watched with interest. "Cool, real soldiers," Josh said. One of the soldiers, Staff Sergeant Rodriguez, walked toward aisle 3. When his eyes saw Robert, he froze. There was something familiar in that posture, that movement. He approached and looked more carefully, at Robert's hands, his stance, his way of moving. Then he read the name tag, Robert Miller. "Excuse me, sir," Staff Sergeant Rodriguez said. "Robert Miller? Are you Sergeant Major Robert Miller?" Robert froze. After 20 years, someone had recognized him. Tyler and his friends also approached curiously. "Former Sergeant Major," Robert said, his voice changing for the first time. "Long time ago." "Sir," Rodriguez immediately came to attention. "Sergeant Major Miller, 2nd Battalion, 75th Rangers. You trained my unit at Fort Benning, 2003. Tyler's mouth dropped open. Josh stepped back. "You probably don't remember me, sir, but you saved my life in Afghanistan. Operation Enduring Freedom, 2004. I was Private Rodriguez then." Robert looked, trying to remember. "Rodriguez, medic training, right? You were the one who wanted to quit after the first week?" "Yes, sir. You made me stay. You said, 'Rangers don't quit, they find another way.'" The other 2 soldiers also approached. Both knew Robert, had heard his name. "Sir, you're a legend," said the second soldier. "They still tell stories about you at Benning." Tyler and his friends listened in amazement. The store employee they had seen was someone the soldiers saluted with respect. "What stories?" Tyler asked, gathering courage. Rodriguez looked at Robert, seeking approval. Robert nodded slightly. "Sergeant Major Miller is one of the most decorated Rangers in the regiment's history," Rodriguez said. 3 Purple Hearts, Bronze Star with Valor, Silver Star. He served 6 deployments in Afghanistan and Iraq. "But that's not why we remember him," the second soldier continued. "We remember him because he never left anyone behind." "Ever?" Josh asked. "What do you mean?" "In 2004, in Helmand Province, we were ambushed. An IED exploded, the convoy scattered. 3 men were wounded under enemy fire. Everyone had to fall back." Rodriguez continued. "Sergeant Major Miller went back. Alone, 3 times. He saved all 3 men." "Alone?" Tyler's voice was filled with disbelief. "Alone, under heavy fire, that's what Rangers do." Robert seemed uncomfortable. "It was a long time ago. We all did our jobs." "No, sir," said the third soldier. "What you did was beyond the call of duty. That's why you're still a legend." Tyler stepped forward, his face red with shame. "Sir, we had no idea. I'm sorry for what we said." Robert looked at him, understanding in those calm eyes. "You didn't know. It's okay." "No, it's not okay," Josh joined in. "We were jerks. We judged you without knowing anything." "Everyone judges," Robert said. "It's human nature. What matters is what you do when you learn the truth." Rodriguez asked, "Sir, why are you working here?" "You should be." "I should be what?" Robert smiled. "This is honest work. I help people find what they need. It's not very different from the Army." "But sir, your pension, your benefits." "Cover the basics. My wife has medical bills. My daughter's in college. Work is work." Tyler asked courageously, "Do you ever miss it? The Army?" Robert thought, "I miss the brotherhood. I miss knowing that what I did mattered. But this matters too, in a different way." Rodriguez's eyes welled up. "Sir, you probably don't remember, but you told me something in Afghanistan. I was scared, wanted to go home. What did I tell you? You said, 'Courage isn't not being afraid. Courage is being afraid and doing it anyway.'" Robert nodded. "You remembered. I never forgot. It got me through 3 more deployments. It got me through Ranger School. It got me to where I am today." Tyler hesitated, then spoke. "Can I ask you something else?" "Sure. How do you deal with people like us? People who don't show respect?" Robert paused, holding a product box. "Everyone deserves respect until they prove otherwise. You were just kids having fun. No harm done. But we were wrong. Being wrong isn't a sin. Staying wrong is." It was time for the soldiers to leave. Rodriguez turned to Robert one last time. "Sir, Would it be okay if we stayed in touch? My unit would love to hear from you. I'm not much for talking about the past, Robert said. Not about the past. About now. About how to serve in different ways. Robert thought, then smiled. I'd like that. Rodriguez noted the phone number from Robert's name tag. The other soldiers also shook hands with Robert. Thank you for your service, sir, said the last soldier. Thank you for yours, Robert replied. Tyler and his friends were still standing there after the soldiers left. Mr. Miller, Tyler said, can we help you with something? Can we make up for how we acted? Robert looked at him. You want to make up for it? Yes, sir. Treat the next person you meet with respect. Before you know their story. That's it? That's everything. After that day, Tyler and Josh started coming to the store every day. Not to shop, but to talk with Robert. They asked him questions, listened to his life experiences. Robert also taught them things. How to be more patient, how to listen to people without judging, how to get through difficult times. A month later, Tyler wanted to interview Robert for the university newspaper. Robert initially refused, then agreed, but he had one condition. They would talk about his current life, not his military stories. Why? Tyler asked. Because everyone has a second act, Robert said. Mine isn't finished yet. When the interview was published, other customers at the store began to recognize Robert, but he still worked the same way, quietly, humbly, respectfully. Old friends started visiting him, but what Robert valued most was the respect shown by young people like Tyler and Josh, because respect earned is respect that lasts. And so, in a Wal-Mart aisle, it was once again proven that appearances can be deceiving. An employee who seemed ordinary was actually a legend, but more importantly, that legend was now serving in a different way. Real heroes are like this. They take off their uniforms, but their character remains the same. Their ranks disappear, but their values remain. And they give the most valuable lesson to young generations. True strength lies not in arrogance, but in humility. If this story meant something to you, share your thoughts in the comments. If you believe stories like this should continue to be told, support Echo Stories by subscribing. See you in the next video. And remember, every person you meet has a story. Don't judge before you hear that story.